glasses.
He plays a guy sitting on a couch interviewing, like, well. He does it really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so polite.
Yeah, he really is.
The Sid Vicious in him is gone.
Easily.
It is no longer there.
There's a lot of things that are gone.
And there's these parts.
You see these people.
Every once in a while, it seems like it's going to wake up. Like, and it flashes back a lot as it keeps going. Okay, now here's what happened before that beginning with this character, and here's another guy's take on what he saw that happened. And like when Tom Hardy shows up, right? You're like, oh, it's Tom Hardy. Oh, he's
finally it's going to get good.
Yeah.
Here comes the action.
He was a spy and he's on the run and he's hiding, and you're like, oh man, what's his story? And it wakes up for about maybe 10 minutes where you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then
until they ask him to, hey, why don't you have a seat in the living room here?
I just like,
wait a minute.
Okay, I guess I got to that point where it was like, I guess there was some vital information in there, but I'm just confused as to how it played into everything else. It's like, oh, well, he's dead. Let's just talk about stuff some more and have some tea. Some more tea. There's a lot of tea drinking going on.
And wasn't me, but wasn't there? Okay, I think the fact that there are a lot of flashbacks that you have to be pretty well aware of, because there's a part in the movie where somebody comes back and you're like, wait a minute.
I know.
What?
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
Did I miss something? What? Okay. And I think that part of that film is where it really fumbles, to where I'm like, you know what, this really should have been done a different way, I guess. Don't ask me how, but I mean, the more where it was coming to the end, I really felt like I was watching like a really long miniseries.
Yeah, it's partially because you had absolutely no real connection with any of the characters except Gary Oldman, and he doesn't seem particularly perturbed by any of the shit in his life that sucks.
That's right.
So I'm not sure why I should care either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's, having something like this where you don't care about the people, it's just an exercise, and you're just kind of waiting for it to be over. So the big reveal has no impact. It not only does it not have impact, but it felt like they could have chosen anybody to say who it was.
Yeah,
and it would have been the same. Like, okay.
Easily. You're right about that. Yeah.
It's like, I guess there was a point where I was like, okay, I guess I do. I understand how it's that guy, but only because the movie is insisting I do.
Right.
It's like, oh, and here's a bunch of last minute stuff that, see? I was like, oh, I guess. Sure. I don't know. I wish I could have liked this movie. I feel like you said earlier, Coase, I feel like I don't know if I'm dumb or what. But
we both need to take a class at ACC to figure this out.
It was just so, there's a lot going on now with films that are intentionally slow paced, and sometimes you can get away with that. And I just felt this is one of these films where I felt every second of this film's running time ticking away.
Yeah.
Oh God, I get it that it's about creating an atmosphere, and it's about having a very complicated spy plot that it takes the time to explain to you how all these pieces fit together. Okay, but I'm fading out as you're trying to tell me. It's like the guy, the Bueller guy from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. The Bueller teacher.
I forgot the guy's name.
Yeah. It's
the red-eyed guy.
Ben Stein.
Ben Stein, there you go.
And then he had sex with his wife. Who was it? Anyone? That's right. It's like, what just happened?
I was dying to have fucking Inspector Clouseau come in and like liven up the goddamn place. It was like, please give me something. I mean, as cool as it was to see all these actors act with each other, I'm just like, this could have been a Inside the Actors Studio special. I mean, they didn't really need to turn it into a movie as far as like, how to act like a spy in a real world situation. But yeah, I mean, I was really, really, really trying hard to like grasp on to just the whole idea of the plot. And you're right, it was completely devoid of any kind of real emotion and any kind of thing to like make you like feel for anybody in their situation, because I mean apparently these situations are dire, but you just don't ever get a sense of that.
So okay, considering that it's a movie that's been praised and full of actors that we love who don't give bad performances, and yet it's completely boring and devoid of emotion, what do you rate it?
Well, that's the thing. It's like I always try to rate just exactly how I feel about it, not how someone else might feel about it. But it's not like you watch this and you go, it's a terribly made film. It is a film that is decidedly not for me, apparently. Because, like I said, I usually like very complicated thrillers. Like I love The International. I don't think you guys like that as much as I did, but I thought that movie was great. And that was one of those really complicated ones with only a few payoff action scenes. But it worked much better for me than this. And I'm surprised because, like, this is directed by Thomas Alfredson, who did Let the Right One In, which was also a very atmospheric, slower paced film, but one that totally worked.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, the atmospheric elements of it were great, working with that kind of story that has such an emotional undercurrent to it, you know? I mean, you really knew and liked those characters. Here, I couldn't connect to anyone.
Yeah.
You
Because
know?
you're getting introduced to so many characters, you can't be connected to anyone, you know, besides Gary Oldman, who's just playing the interviewer, you know?
But I guess, you know, just in light of the fact that it is so popular in certain circles, I'm going to give this a rental because I say, you know what? I have friends who love this movie as well. See it and decide for yourself, but don't rush out to the theater to see it. I mean, I'll give it a rental because, yeah, there are elements to it that are clearly good that even I enjoyed at moments, but I just can't give it much more worth than that.
Oh my God! Yeah, this is tough on me
It's tough.
because it's like considering the caliber of actors they have in here, which you know they all do a great job. Oh man, it's killing me. It's fucking killing me right now because as much as I want to say, you know, I'm in your camp. I don't want anybody looking at me going, oh, "There's that guy who fucking he didn't even like Tinker." So who gives a fuck about what he thinks? I'm in the boat where I'm like, I can give it a rental for the atmosphere, the acting, but then again, I'm betraying myself,
Right.
and it pains me. This is the most gut wrenching like torture I could ever have bestowed upon me. But I'm going to give it some old bullshit.
Wow.
Some old
I
bullshit.
knight
I
thee.
hope nobody heard this.
I knight
Don't
thee.
tell nobody.
Sir, honesty.
No! I'm going to be rejected from all the movie reviewers here in town. Oh no! But you know what? I'm sorry. I had to. I mean, I love all these guys, and I look forward to seeing all of them in The Dark Knight Rises. So maybe that'll give me something I want. But yeah, I have to give it some bullshit just because. I mean, I was really struggling. I was struggling to really enjoy this movie because hey, all the critics fucking love it, so I should love it, right? But no.
Yeah, it doesn't always work that way, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I had to ask you guys first so I know where to gauge put mine in. 'Cause I'm right there. I'm right there with you. And usually I reserve a similar bullshit for incompetency or just doing something that's like, you know what, that's a sorry message you got there and fuck you. Mm-hmm. And with this, it's not so much incompetent. It's just made in a way that I think is devoid of being entertaining. At least. Mm-hmm. You know, I hate to say, well, it's not entertaining to me because, that goes with the territory. Of course, anything I talk about, it's from my perspective. Like you, I fell asleep, had to stop, rewind a thing, and go back and rewatch it again. And it's like
I was paying attention, and I was rewinding, like really, like going, God damn it, where's my pen?
I was actually pinching my leg at points to stay awake, which I haven't had to do in a long time.
Yeah, and I just thought, okay, I'll on the second viewing, I'll start picking up the stuff that I missed, and still came back to that spot where I fell off. And I was just like, all right, I'm awake now, but it's still not doing anything for me. Yeah, I'll just split the difference and give it a low rental.
God damn it! Now I'm the bad guy. All right, but you know,
damn, Coast, I can't believe you hated that movie.
Yeah, man, wait, some old bullshit. What's wrong with you?
Oh,
damn,
well,
Sick Coast.
There's a lot wrong with me. But there's more wrong with this movie. But you know what the thing is. I told myself, like, after this, I'm going to rewatch that fucking movie again. So maybe we can come back and re-edit this. I can pull a Corey and re-edit this whole thing.
Oh, I'm going to like this movie. If I have to watch this to my eyeballs bleed.
I am going to love it.